Hi, I'm Amelia. I've worked in an office and I've faced problems I never saw coming. Not because I lacked skills, but because I'm a woman. I stayed quiet, thinking it was normal. Today, I'm going to talk about it. In meetings, I shared ideas that were often ignored. Minutes later, a male colleague said the same thing, and suddenly it was brilliant. At first, I doubted myself. Then I realized the problem wasn't my idea, it was visibility. I learned to be brief and direct, and I stopped over-explaining. I also made sure to speak early in the meeting, before the room got loud. And when someone repeated my idea, I calmly said, "Yes, that's what I was suggesting earlier. Thanks for picking it up." It wasn't about confrontation. It was about claiming my space, clearly and confidently. There were times when I worked late, finished the task, and shared the results, only to watch someone else present it as their own. At first, I felt angry but stayed silent. Then I learned that silence only teaches people what they can get away with. What helped me was being visible before and after the work. I shared progress updates, documented my contributions, and spoke up calmly when needed. Not to create conflict, but to make sure my work was seen and my effort was acknowledged. At work, I noticed I was expected to do more than my actual job, taking notes, calming conflicts, helping everyone because I was good at it. At first, I thought being helpful would be appreciated, but slowly it became expected, and my real work went unnoticed. What helped was learning to set quiet boundaries. I once found out that a colleague doing the same work as me was earning more. Same role, same hours, different pay. At first, I questioned my worth. Then I realized pay gaps don't close on their own. What helped was doing my homework. I researched salary ranges, documented my performance, and asked for a clear conversation, not an apology. Fair pay isn't a favor. It's a professional discussion, and we have the right to have it. What helped was changing my mindset. I stopped apologizing for managing my time well and focused on delivering results, not hours. Leaving on time doesn't mean you care less. It means you know how to work efficiently, and that's a strength. I've heard comments at work that were brushed off as jokes, but they didn't feel harmless. They made me uncomfortable, yet speaking up felt risky. What helped was responding calmly in the moment. Sometimes a simple line like, "I'm not comfortable with that comment," was enough. You don't have to laugh to keep peace. Setting a clear boundary is not overreacting, it's protecting your dignity. After marriage, the way people looked at my career slowly changed. Questions shifted from my goals to my plans outside work. Opportunities became fewer, assumptions became louder. It felt like my commitment was being judged before I even said anything. What helped was being clear and consistent. I spoke openly about my goals, kept my performance visible, and didn't let assumptions speak for me. Marriage or motherhood doesn't erase ambition. It just means our priorities expand, not disappear. When I focused on my career, I felt guilty for not giving enough time to my family. When I focused on family, I felt guilty for stepping back at work. No matter what I chose, it felt like I was failing somewhere. That guilt was exhausting. What helped was understanding one thing. I don't have to justify my choices to everyone. There is no perfect balance. There is only what works for you, and that is enough. I noticed that guidance and opportunities often went to others before they reached me. Not because I wasn't capable, but because no one was actively guiding or sponsoring me. Without mentorship, growth feels slow and uncertain. You work hard, but you're not sure if anyone sees it. What helped was being intentional. I asked questions, sought feedback, and connected with people who valued development. Sometimes growth doesn't come by waiting. It comes by reaching out and making yourself visible. I noticed that complex or high-visibility tasks were often given to male colleagues first, even when I had the same skills or sometimes more experience. It wasn't obvious discrimination. It was subtle, like an automatic assumption about who should handle important work. What helped was volunteering confidently for challenging projects. Once I consistently delivered strong results, those assumptions slowly started to shift. When I made a mistake, it felt magnified. When others made the same mistake, it was brushed off as normal. That double standard made me overly cautious. I feared failure more than growth. What helped was owning mistakes professionally and moving forward. Perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Sometimes, even in a room full of colleagues, I felt alone. There weren't many women in leadership to relate to. It wasn't hostility, it was isolation. And isolation can quietly affect confidence. What helped was finding support outside my immediate team. Sometimes community exists, you just have to look for it. If you faced any of this, you're not alone. Your experiences are valid, and your career deserves space to grow without an apology. We're not here to fit into the system, we're here to improve it.